Hi, and welcome to another one of D's ADD videos. Today we're going to be discussing quadratic functions. More specifically, we're going to be looking at graphing a quadratic function from the general form. So if you remember, the vertex is going to be the maximum or the minimum. If it's opening up, it's the minimum, and the maximum if it's opening down. And the y value is the actual maximum or minimal value. The x value tells you where it occurs. And if we're in our general form, to find that vertex, you use this specific formula here, where it's minus b over 2a. And then to get the y value, you just plug back in what your x value is into your function everywhere you see an x. All right? So let's see it in action is the best way to do it. So here's our function. We have a quadratic. So right away, you should take minus b, find the x value of your vertex, minus a negative 2 over 2 times 1. And when you do that, you're going to end up with a negative give you a positive 1. When you plug that 1 value back into your original function, I'm sorry, I'm being distracted by my dogs. You're going to get a 1 minus 2 times 1 minus 3. So 1 squared is 1 minus 2 gives you a negative 1. Negative 1 minus 3 gives you a negative 4. So your vertex is going to be 1 comma negative 4. And you can also get your axis of symmetry, because now you know the vertex is going to be the vertical line x equals 1. Now at this point, what you can do is you can graph both the axis of symmetry and plot the point 1 comma negative 4. So we'll do our points in green. 1 comma negative 4 is right here. And then we know that we have an axis of symmetry of x equals 1 as a result. So let's try to go up directly. Sorry, it's supposed to be a straight line. Okay, I guess I don't need to do that. And then we'll label it x equals 1. I promise you that's a straight line. And we should label our vertex. And then we have 2 intercepts because it's going to be opening up. We know it's opening up because the coefficient of x squared is 1. How do we find those 2? Well, we can either set it equal to 0 and complete the square, or set it equal to 0 and factor it if we can factor it. So in this case, that's a pretty straightforward factoring problem, hopefully. You can do factoring by grouping, not necessary in this scenario, so I'm not going to do it just because I don't have much space. We should be able to see that that factors into x minus 3 and x plus 1. So that means that x equals negative 1 and x equals 3. If you set each of these individually equal to 0, that tells you that we have those 2 intercepts of negative 1, 0, and 3 comma 0. To get the y-intercept, we just set, that was for the x-intercepts. You set y equal to 0. And then for the y-intercepts, you set x equal to 0 and solve. So in this case, x equal to 0 is not as bad, because you get y equals 0 squared minus 2 times 0 minus 3, which equals negative 3. So 0, negative 3 is the y-intercept. Okay, so let's plot all that data on your graph. We got some intercepts here. So what was it? Positive 3, comma 0. That's the next intercept. And then we should know, because 2 to the right on the x-axis, there should be 1, 2 to the left. That's what the axis of symmetry does. allows you to reflect your points, so you don't, if you knew just one of these points, then you should know the other one. For instance, let's look at that y-intercept. What was that y-intercept? 0, -3, right? So 0 is 1 to the left of that axis of symmetry and 1 up. So that means there should be 1 to the right of the axis of symmetry and 1 up, another point. That's what the axis of symmetry allows you to do. And then all you do is connect the dots. You've finished all the steps necessary. Hopefully you can do that in somewhat a straight fashion. Okay, and that would be your function drawn out. So what did I do again? I did the minus b over 2a. That got me the x value of my vertex. Then I did, to get the y value, you did f of minus b over 2a. Plug that into your function everywhere you see an x. That gives you your vertex and your axis of symmetry, which is always the x value of your vertex. Then set your y equal to 0 if you're finding the x-intercept and solve, and then for the y-intercept set x equals 0. Plot the points and you're good to go, okay? And that's the basics behind doing a function in the general form, graphing it, okay? So make sure you practice, and check out the one for standard form. It's actually a little bit easier. I'm going to make you complete the square on that one just to practice on that concept. But these aren't too bad if you do a few of these, all right? Thank you, and have a nice day.